Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Today, we're stepping right into one of the most famous poems in the English language, Robert Frost's Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening.
You've probably heard these famous lines, right? But what journey do they actually describe? It's so much more than just a ride in the snow. It's this profound look at life, at duty, and those quiet, tempting moments that really define us. So let's explore the world Frost creates, and we'll start with the man himself. To really get this journey, we first need to meet our guide, the celebrated American poet Robert Frost. His life and his work were so deeply shaped by the very New England landscape he wrote about. You know, Frost lived through this period of huge change in America, but his poetry always came back to the quiet, powerful, and sometimes unforgiving landscapes of rural New England. This connection to nature wasn't just for decoration. It was his stage for exploring the biggest ideas about life, responsibility, and choice. And his focus is just brilliantly simple. The title itself, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, grounds us completely in the natural world before we even read the first line. It sets such a clear, simple, and evocative scene: a forest, snow, at the end of the day. So the poem kicks off with the speaker just pausing his journey. He's in this secluded, snow-filled forest. He's aware he's on someone else's property, but he also knows the owner is way off in the village. This gives him a moment of pure solitude, a private chance to simply watch this beautiful, quiet scene unfold. But here's the thing, the speaker isn't alone, and his companion, his horse, finds this pause completely illogical. The animal's practical instinct just clashes directly with the human's moment of quiet reflection. So, from the horse's purely practical point of view, this stop makes zero sense. The word queer here just means strange. For the horse, travel has one purpose: get to shelter. And this stop, between dark woods and a frozen lake on the darkest night of the year, is the exact opposite of that. So, why exactly does the horse find this so strange? Well, for an animal driven by instinct, stopping here isn't just unusual, it's dangerous. The horse basically sees three huge problems with this picture. First off, there's no farmhouse, which means no safety or rest. Second, the location is bleak. You've got deep woods on one side, a frozen lake on the other. This isn't some scenic overlook. This is the wilderness. And maybe most importantly, it's the darkest evening of the year, the winter solstice, a symbolic moment of deep cold and minimum light. Now, since the horse can't speak, it finds another way to voice its concern, acting on its confusion with a simple, clear gesture. He gives his harness bells a shake. That's it. It's a physical question, a little jingle that's basically asking his owner, "Are you sure about this? Did we make a mistake here?" It's a gentle but clear protest against this unnatural pause. But there's no verbal response. The only reply to the horse's question is the near silence of nature itself, just the soft sweep of wind and the gentle fall of what Frost calls downy flake. The world remains quiet, peaceful, and completely indifferent to the horse's practical worries. And this brings us to that final stanza, where the speaker finally breaks his silence. He reveals this internal conflict he's feeling, the tension between the allure of the woods and the obligations of his life. The speaker finally acknowledges the powerful pull of the woods. He sees them as lovely, dark, and deep. And that phrase suggests not just beauty, but something profound, mysterious, and maybe even a final, ultimate sense of rest. It's a powerful temptation to just stop, but it's immediately countered by a single, powerful thought: but I have promises to keep. And this is the crucial point. Promises here represent so much more than simple pledges. They're the sum total of life's duties, to family, to community, to oneself. They're the obligations that tether us to the world and keep us moving forward on our journey. And here, right here, is the genius of the poem, in that final repetition. The first miles to go before I sleep is totally literal. He has a physical distance to travel before resting for the night. But when he repeats it, the meaning just deepens. It becomes a metaphor for the entire journey of life, all the tasks we must complete, all the responsibilities we must fulfill before that final sleep. So what began as just a simple, quiet pause to admire a snowy scene becomes this profound reflection on the journey of life itself. It's about the constant tension between the desire for rest and peace and the duties that call us onward. And that leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The poem invites us to look at our own lives and ask ourselves, When we are tempted to stop, to rest, to give in to the lovely, dark, and deep moments of escape, what are the promises that compel us to move forward?